What's up, guys? This is Kephas, and we are going to attempt to run Utgard Keep right off the bat, because there is a window of time when Utgard Keep rewards a lot of experience, and it is between the levels of 68 to 70, and then once you hit level 70, that reward kind of goes away. So, I queued up for it specifically. And once you hit level 70, it's kind of like how it was with Ramparts. There is no longer a reason to run this. I mean, look, you're getting 48,000 XP for the bonus objective, but around, I think at level 70, it goes down to like 10,000 or 11,000 or something like that. So you definitely want to make sure that if you're going to run this dungeon, that you only do it between 68 to 70. That's why we're doing it, because we want to get a good head start on this place, and then we'll just go to Hellfire Peninsula, because that is where you guys voted, and man, did you guys vote. I always appreciate it when you guys vote on these things when I ask you to, because it's interesting feedback. What's going on? What are we getting hit by? Oh, this guy? I didn't even see what was going on here. I'm being a jerk going after the objectives while everybody else is fighting the mobs. I'm one of those guys. I'm not meaning to. I feel like this place is weird right now. I don't ever remember going left. It's been a while since I've ran this place, but hey. Oh, I didn't know you could do that. I did not know that you could shortcut like that, for reals. Has that always been a thing? Because that's cool. I've ran this for years. Oh well, I'm just gonna grab stuff right now because it needs to be gotten. Got 3 out of 5. I'm like lagging behind like a fool. Look at these guys go. Holy cow. This is cool. We'll take it. I better watch that dragon though. I don't want to pull anything that doesn't want to be pulled. What is this? Is this the state of Utgard Keep now with that level running? Because holy cow. This is insane. Oh well. Hey, you know what? It works. It works. We're gonna just tear things up. I hope this is alright. We've already gotten tons of experience. I think I was at like 51%. I'm already at 60%. This is insane. Are we just gonna go? We're just gonna keep going, I guess. Like my raid leader likes to say, guys, we're just gonna keep going. He'd crack up if he heard me say that. Alright, I'm gonna grab this. I'm gonna check volume, make sure that our volume's okay. Yeah, our volume's fine. We'll be alright. What's good? Oh, getting a little bit out of whack here. All right. So yeah, I'm having fun already. This is awesome. This is how you run dungeons when you're leveling and just trying to fly through things. Look at that. We got a blue. We're just gonna run right to the boss, I guess. Okay, we're actually stopping. It looks like. I feel about as useless as a chocolate teapot right now. Uh-oh, got feared. So you'll notice I've made a few changes to my UI, if you pay attention to that sort of thing. Some people do. Dang. I've made a few things a little bit smaller because I'm using a bigger TV screen now, and you know, my UI is kind of a thing. It's always a work in progress, and I tend to just kind of try new things out, and slowly it gets kind of crazy sometimes. I'm never fully happy with my UI, for sure, so I'm always looking to change it. But, you know, I've kind of gone from, you know, having a UI that's just for me to having a UI that is also being viewed by a lot of people. And I get feedback on my UI from time to time. Some of it's very positive. I mean, more times than not, it's just like you guys ask me, what mods do I use? And there are videos out. I've made videos on my channel that explain that. So, and I use so many. So if you ever want, just look up my channel and you'll see the different mods that I use. I've shared a couple of videos on that before, and how I set things up. Obviously, I've changed some of that now, but yeah, I try to do the best I can. And I've one thing I have done. If you look at the top left of my screen, I have moved my unit frame over so that you can now see my level. Because I get a lot of people asking, what level are you? And I'm like, oh yeah, you can't really see that, can you? So I'm 68, about to hit 69, and yeah, so you'll be able to keep track of that now. Sorry about that. Like I said, it's always just kind of designed for me. Sometimes I'll get negative, and I don't just mean negative, I mean discriminatory comments from people. Your UI is an eyesore, which it's a fair enough comment, but I try to explain to people that, you know, hey, yeah, sorry, it's for someone who's visually impaired. And then sometimes people get kind of inflammatory about that, and they don't. Well, if you can't have a UI that's something that normal people can see, then you shouldn't make videos. I've had those kind of comments, and it's funny because people regard that as feedback, and it's like, no, that's not feedback. That's being discriminatory. And I like to try to be as nice as I can, but with people like that, it's not easy for me to be nice. It usually results in a channel ban, honestly. I like to be nice. I like to be nice to people, but if people are going to discriminate me and my visual impairment, then they don't need to be on my channel. And people say, well, you know, you need to be nice to people, or you need to like let people say what they want to say on your channel, and that's just, if you don't want comments. Nah, I agree, but at the same time, discrimination is not something that I accept. I do not accept that at all, and those are not the types of people that I want on my channel. So I'd rather have nice people, and at least people who have decency on my channel. And so YouTube is a very, very toxic environment sometimes, and so sometimes it's not always easy just to be nice. But that's all right. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the way that it is. So, but at the same time, I do try to improve, you know, and take negative criticism, you know, with a grain of salt, but also with, you know, the ability to learn and take feedback, good and bad, and make things better, because I do this for myself, but I also do this for people to watch and enjoy. So I hope that you like the subtle improvements I've made to my UI. Just know there will always be an upscale in things. I'm always going to have bigger fonts. I'm always going to have a slightly larger minimap and slightly larger UI because of my vision, and that's just kind of it's just kind of the way it is, and some of that just can't change. I can't help it. There are a lot of people that think that, oh, your UI needs to be minimalistic. Use ElvUI, use TalkUI, use one of the minimal. It's like, dude, minimalistic UIs are overrated. Just because a UI isn't minimalistic doesn't mean that it's not still functional and work. You know, so like right now, I see my group is kind of overlapping my grid, so I need to fix that. But those are little things that I'm, you know, working on still. One of the things that I've done is I've replaced HUD map, or Ice HUD, not HUD map, Ice HUD with, well, I'm still using Ice HUD, but I've switched over to a profile that I had called Head Health. I don't know if it's something that I made a long time ago and forgot about, or if it's something that comes with the UI, but as you can see, there is a little tiny health bar above my head, which is my health bar. And I had been looking to do that for a very long time. It's less invasive than the arches that I was using from Ice HUD before, and I can still see my health. It's kind of like how it's set up with, kind of like how it is in Heroes of the Storm, actually. And Final Fantasy does something like that too. It appears and disappears in combat. These guys are flying through this dungeon, and which is something that I like, so that way I don't see it when I'm not in combat, because I don't need to see it. If I'm not at 100%, it'll go away when I'm 100% and out of combat, which is really nice. So I can see my rage, I can see my health, I can see my percentage, which is all fantastic. I'm going to try to get a couple more things in there. I have nameplates. I'm using tidy plates now. I like it a little bit better than the standard thing. I can see my dots, stuff like that. But I would like to get an actual target nameplate, not a nameplate, but a target health bar similar to what I have over my head, but maybe somewhere up here at the top of my screen. That way it's a lot easier for me to keep track of the health of the target that I currently have. Final Fantasy 14 has something like that in their game, so I'm going to continue to work on my UI and make more and more improvements, and keep you guys in mind. Like, see this up here, this is a little wonky, I didn't even notice that. I need to look into fixing that, although it's kind of helpful. But yeah, so I have some things to work on still and get the kinks out of my UI. But now when I design my UI, I'm not only designing it for me, but I'm also going to try to have you guys in mind as well. So you know, I appreciate the feedback. Like I said, I get more positive feedback than negative, so as long as that's the case, then I don't have too much to worry about. But I am never happy with my UI anyways, so I'm always looking to improve it. So that's enough of that. Anyhow, there's all the stuff we need. We can go turn these quests in. And as you can see, that was a lot of experience. I got like half a level from that. And you know, once we hit 60 or 70, that will not be worth running anymore. So you know, that's just kind of, I don't know why it's like that. I don't even think the Nexus is like that, and the Nexus is the same, like it's the same level, and it doesn't do the same thing. I don't know why it's set up like that. Decline. Let me turn these quests in. We'll get out of here, and we'll continue leveling in the actual zone. Alright, turn those quests in, got a couple upgrades, and now we can actually quest here in almost, well, definitely my favorite zone, Howling Fjord. I love this place, man. This is home. Listen to that music. I mean, you just can't, how do you not like this zone? Seriously. It's the best. I love it. And we're going to play in it now. So, doing these quests. This is when questing started to get real different. And I liked it, for sure. I guess we don't really need to kill the rogs, but we're gonna. So yeah, fan feedback. You guys give feedback, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate constructive criticism, and I appreciate all obviously, I always appreciate the positive feedback. I mean, who doesn't like positive feedback? And there has been plenty of that. So I'm glad that you guys are here with me, and we're enjoying all this, you know, all this stuff. In terms of plans for the future channel. Or for the channel in the future, I'm definitely going to, whoops, wrong button, I think. Okay, there we go. I'm definitely going to continue doing this, because people like this. I want to keep making minutes and gaming videos. The thing about the minutes and gaming videos is I'm only going to do those when I have something that I feel like I should talk about. So that's kind of like I don't just make those for the sake of making them. I have to actually have, you know, stuff to talk about. So, you know, like when the flying stuff came out, I immediately felt inspired to do that, and that was easy. The one before that, the big one, you know, what the state of the game, that was very, I had a lot of things to say about that one. Just like the original one, World of Warcraft Over Time. I don't just want to make those just because, you know, they get a lot of attention. Because, I mean, I do want to make them for that reason, but I only want to make them when I have something really, really passionate and worthwhile to say. Because those videos, you know, as far as I'm concerned, those are the best videos that I do make. They're my channel's, like, it's like what my channel's all about. So I want those to be of the highest quality. So, you know, I'll never just do them, oh, look, I can make a minutes in gaming video, and hey, look, I get tons of views, just because it's a minutes in gaming video. Well, they're good because of how I handle those. So, having said that, keep an eye out for more of those, because I have other topics I want to talk about. I definitely think that I'm going to have one after 6.2 to see how 6.2 goes. 6.2 is either going to be more of what we hate or an improvement on what we didn't like. And if you want my honest opinion right now, because I like to kind of preview my thoughts here in these videos, I am very much afraid that we are going to get more of what we hate in 6.2. I haven't seen the PTR. I haven't been there. I haven't watched videos on it. I've kind of stayed away from all the stuff, just other than what I know about it and what they're doing. So I don't have an obviously educated guess on what it's going to be like. But I am afraid that, you know, we're getting more Apex's crystals. We're getting more, basically a Garrison 2.0. That's what the shipyard is. It's a little bit different in that they're trying not to make it so mandatory, I guess. The rewards are there. There are definitely rewards in it, but they're not like, oh, you must do this, you know, that kind of stuff. So we'll see. You know, I mean, we'll see what they have to say. I definitely listened to the Q&A, and you know, what's funny about the Q&A, and they're getting praised for being honest, which I think they should, because they were very honest. I feel like they kind of had to be, because they kind of know that they're kind of in the doghouse right now with people. They kind of, you know, they had to be honest. I mean, what else could they do? You know, were they going to like deny it all? You know, they're in a position right now where a large chunk of their fan base is upset with them, and you know, so I don't really like. I mean, I think honesty is great and all. I don't really. I mean, I'm not gonna like overly praise them for doing the right thing. But I mean, it's cool that they were honest. I hope that they, you know, I hope that they take that and run with it. I hope that you know, what, not just that they were honest and they acknowledged it, but that they change. Because let's be honest, guys. I mean, now that they have said that this, you know, this was a mistake, that was a mistake. It's not really much that we can do to defend anything. There's no excuse for the in-game content to be in the shape that it's in right now. There is, I mean, when you listen to that Q&A, they basically, over the course of the Q&A, said that everything, they had failed on everything. They said they had failed on dungeons, they had failed on reputations, they had failed on the concept of being in the world. They made garrisons too rewarding. As you know, they had failed on dungeons. I think I said that already. They had failed on PvP. Literally, there is very little in the expansion that they did not fail at. And it's like, I mean, how does a developer that's been making an MMO for 10 years do that? I mean, you know, like they said, dungeons are a critical part of the game. And outdoor world is the other critical part in the game, and they literally they failed at both. And it's like, that's like Mario saying, "Oh yeah, we failed at the jumping mechanics in this game," and it's like, that's what this game kind of is, isn't it? I mean, that's pretty bad, especially when you're Blizzard, right? I mean, not that Blizzard is perfect, but it's just that this is a 10-year-old game. At this point, I mean, yeah, you're going to try new things and all that kind of stuff, but there's no reason that you should be, I mean, okay, let me put it to you this way. I'm going to rate every expansion for you in my head, and maybe this will be a future video too. I'm going to rate every expansion for you in my head right now. Vanilla WoW was a 10 out of 10. Not because it was a perfect game, that's not really what 10 out of 10 means, but that it gave me a 10 out of 10 experience. It gave a lot of people a 10 out of 10 experience because it was new, and it was a new idea. Even though, you know, EverQuest existed and there were Dark Age Camp, other games like that were cool, WoW took those ideas and made it something even better, and appealing to a massive audience, and the world and everything was just fantastic. I mean, it's not that would hold up now that we know that grinding kind of sucks and there are better ways to do things, and you know, there were a lot of issues with the game back then, but I would still give it a 10, or maybe a 9. We'll give it a 9.5. Actually, we'll give Vanilla a 9.5. We'll give BC a 9.5 because it was just as good. It improved the game. You know what I mean? And so I guess you could argue maybe, well, wouldn't that make it a 10? I don't know. Ratings are kind of dumb anyways. But you know, 9.5, 10 for both of those. Wrath, same thing. I would give Wrath a 10. In terms of WoW, I think Wrath was probably the perfect expansion. I know a lot of people would hate that because there were a lot of people that didn't like Wrath because it was too casual or whatever. And you know, I always praise the dungeons. I agree that dungeons over the course of time got old, but you can't base something on how old it gets over time. You have to base it on, you know, its initial kind of experience. Like, did the content last for it that cycle of time, like before the new patches came in and we were moving up? You know, yeah, it got old after 2 years, but what the heck doesn't get old after 2 years when you're playing it all the time? You know what I mean? Like, so I think that overall, not that Wrath was perfect. Again, there's no such thing. It's a perfect game. I think Wrath was the best that WoW's ever been. I think that it had something for everybody. which is important. I think that listening to a hardcore audience complain that casuals are getting gear was a big mistake. Oh, look at my blood. There's my breath bar. I need to fix that too. But overall, I think Wrath was the best. I think that's when people had the most fun with the game, and I think that's what's most important, is that people are having fun with the game. Cataclysm, I was a lot more harsh on it at the time, and I think a lot of people are still. I don't think Cataclysm, especially now, I don't think it was as bad as it seemed. I think that compared to Wrath it was. I'd give Cataclysm a solid 8, honestly. From hindsight, I would give Cataclysm a solid 8. I think that, you know, it had some cool things. I think that the Firelands and the Molten Front were great daily experience. I think that, you know, the world, and here's the big thing. Most of what Cataclysm was revamping the old world. And I think that, honestly, doing that was a cool thing. I think that the change to the world was awesome and very well done. In that regard, I have to give the game a thumbs up. I think the end game was a little bit weak. I'd probably give the end game like a 7 out of 10. But overall, I'd give the expansion an 8 out of 10 for everything that it brought to the experience. You know, that was before dailies were the worst thing ever. And then MoP came out, and while I really like the theme of MoP because I love Kung Fu, and I love the Pandaren race, and I love the music and the concept of Pandaria, I think all that was fantastic. I actually prefer the Panda trailer over the current one, even though the current one is amazing. I liked the little stint where the Chen Stormstout's fighting the Alliance and Horde guy and what that represented and just all that. I thought that was fantastic. I loved that little trailer. I still like to watch it from time to time, and I really enjoyed the theme. But honestly, that was probably not the best expansion overall. I think that Pandaria had a lot of cool things they were trying to do, but I think that overall I'd give Pandaria a 7.5. I think that's when Raid Finder came in and changed a lot of things, and raiding wasn't as interesting, and the lore wasn't very interesting, and I don't think that I didn't feel as compelled. I probably took more time off from the game at that time, and if it hadn't been for YouTube and some friends and all that kind of stuff, I probably wouldn't have gotten back into the game. That was a time where I was really losing interest, even though I liked the monk class and I liked the Pandaren and I really wanted to enjoy the expansion. I think that the expansion overall just wasn't what I was looking for, and I think that, you know, at the end of the day, even though pet battles were in, I mean, there were a lot of cool ideas, man. It wasn't the worst thing ever. It just wasn't very good overall for the Warcraft experience. But then Warlords came, and this isn't working for some reason. What the heck? When Warlords came, at first, I really liked it. I'm not gonna lie. At first, I was excited about garrisons. I was having fun. I liked the leveling process. I liked the zones, even though Frostfire is a little boring. The other zones were fine. The questing in Frostfire was fine though. But you know, like, I loved running around with Durotan. I loved, you know, like when I'd like clicking on him and he'd like, hey, stay frosty, you know, because he's a Frostfire orc. You know, that kind of stuff. I was really hyped for the expansion and really interested in what was going on. But that very quickly went away, quicker than it ever has. The content did not last very long because, you know, there were a lot of things that I was interested in at first that quickly became boring, and as a result, it basically ended in me not really playing the end game as much. I did the leveling up of vaults, and I was doing garrison stuff, and I was raiding with my raid team, and that's it. And that would be fine, say, maybe 6 months in, not 2 months in, or even a month and a half in, really. I think that garrisons are the worst idea that's ever been implemented in World of Warcraft. I think player housing in an MMO is a dumb idea. I always have, because it's an MMO, so why would you want a place where you are secluded from everybody, even though it's like, oh, I can customize a house and all that? It's, yeah, but when you're instanced in a place, it's not like you're part of the world. It's not like you actually have a house out there in the world that other people can see. If that were the case, it'd be a great idea. But it separates me from the world, which is kind of counterintuitive to the concept of an MMO. So I personally have never been a fan of it. It's not like Minecraft. If it were like Minecraft, that'd be sweet. So I never really was a big fan of player housing. So garrisons, and garrisons are a testament to why I'm not a fan of player housing. So there's that, and then on top of that, you have Apexis dailies. Well, you have dungeons not being successful and not having incentive, and then you have Apexis dailies, which are probably the second worst thing they've ever added in World of Warcraft. Other games do that much better. And I think they were poorly implemented. They're extremely boring, and nobody runs them. And to make matters even worse, the rewards aren't there. So yeah, when you combine that, and you combine the fact that there's no incentive to do anything else, and rep grinds were shoehorned in, I think you have an expansion that is a blight on what is otherwise a great game. Can't believe I just said it like that. I would give Warlords of Draenor a 5.5 out of 10. I think that in terms of Warcraft being Warcraft, it's still playable because it's Warcraft. But if Warlords of Draenor was the first Warcraft, this would be a sucky MMO to play. If we were starting off in Warlords of Draenor, no one would be playing this game. It would be regarded as the worst MMO ever made, rightfully so, because it would be. There are other MMO. Rift is more fun than this. I mean, there's more to do in that game. Star Wars: The Old Republic was better than this. Genuinely, this to me is the worst. The current content is the worst MMO content. I mean, that's a competitive MMO out there. In my opinion, I honestly feel like this is the worst they've ever done, and to the point where I am very, skeptical about what's next. I'm definitely hoping that they can show me something great and deliver on it, because I gotta say, I'm not really feeling it right now. I'm not really feeling the hype right now. I mean, I'm gonna give 6.2 a chance and see what happens. I like that they're bringing flying back, and the way they're doing it, I think it's cool. Even though I'm not a big fan of rep grinds, we'll see how that goes. At least it's linked to dailies. Unfortunately, it's linked to Apexis dailies, so, I don't know how that's going to work. If they improve the way Apexis dailies works, maybe it'll be fine, but we'll see. But if they think that giving us more of what we don't like is going to make people like this game more, they've lost their minds. And it's within their best interest. See, here's the problem with Blizzard. They see a system, they see a little error with the system, and so they remove the system entirely. Or they go the opposite direction, because like in Wrath, by the end of it, it got kind of old. It was kind of weird, doing old content, even though we were way overpowered for it, and we were getting better gear rewards, that kind of stuff, which is all true. But their answer was to just, let's not do this at all anymore. Let's go a completely different direction. It's the same with dailies. Rather than just saying, hey, we made too many, let's not make as many, let's do something else. They're like, nah, how about we don't make any, and we'll just do Apexis dailies, and we're going to assume that's going to be better, because reasons. And it wasn't. It was worse. I'd rather have the Pandaria dailies now. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying that, but that was better. I'm not saying that doesn't mean that was good. It just means that was better. It was better than this. So, what do? I think that, that's the thing is, and they admitted it in that Q&A, they pendulum too much. They overreact. Similar to how their fans overreact. But, let's be honest, we definitely overreact sometimes. So yeah, I don't know, man. I think that they have a lot to work on right now, and I think that, again, constructive feedback, just like giving constructive feedback here, is how we work towards that, that goal of making the game better, because we all want the game to be better. But, at the end of the day, my takeaway from it is that, glad they're acknowledging it, for sure. But to be completely honest, I'm no developer, but I don't see how you could ever let the game get in this. It should not be. This game should not be the way it is right now. It should never have gotten to this point. And so I think that you know, that should be a wake-up call to them. You know, like that should be a huge wake-up call to them to improve things. You know, because holy cow, man. So that's my take on the expansion. And yeah, so from there we are going to probably wrap up this video. We're going to hit 70 next time. We made some good progress today. Kind of short and sweet, I think. And just a little rambling on about different things. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. This is Kephas. Until next time.